Hello, my name is Flávia Bezerra. I'm a black cis woman, lesbian, born in Brazil in the city of São Paulo. I'm a manager and have been an Accenture since 2014. My hair is short and curly. I wear a blackbird glasses and a yellow t-shirt with a gray jacket. Happy Pride season to all. It's a great pleasure to be at another Out and Equal Global Forum. And this year, such a special event with colleagues from China and India. I thank the whole Out and Equal community immensely. Erin, Dina, CV, Corinna, and all the others who work intentionally and lovingly every year for the LGBT community around the world. To you, my deep affection and gratitude. This invitation to be here also came with a mission. I would need to tell what is pride and resilience to me. Talk about the importance of these two aspects in my life. Not easy. Here I thank Out and Equal team again for the challenge. It was a very interesting process thinking about these two aspects. And I realized I needed to tell you about my story a little bit. How pride was built and resilience, how important resilience had as a factor in this construction. I'm 40 years old, I'm married, and I had a 9-year-old beautiful stepdaughter. I came from a small family. I have an older brother. My parents alive and healthy. My family is interracial. My father is a white man and my mother a black woman. Our origins are from a lower middle class family. My mother started working at age of 11 as maid, and my father, as a child, migrated with his family from Northwest in search of opportunities. A very common situation here in Brazil. I had a good childhood, full of love, with a lot of encouragement on part of my parents to use the path of education in order to pierce the bubble and allow me to reach places that were not possible for my parents and for most of my family members. I studied in public schools all my life, and even in a socioeconomic environment like mine, I suffered bullying and racism in much of my childhood and youth. I accept my hair as it is only in adulthood. Something very strange for a country where we are the majority. 56% of the population in 2009 are black people here in Brazil. And if we look only the number of black women, we are more than 25% of the population. My childhood and youth were filled with process to feed me into where black girls and women were not exalted. On the contrary, my daily unconscious and sometimes conscious effort was a constant search for protection and security. Many strategies not to be a target. My sexual orientation was already perceived by me since I was a child, even though I didn't know how to name it. That was being a subject actually faced by me only in adulthood. The issues of gender and ethnicity were more latent, more present, and today I believe that I also use here an instinct for protection. My sexuality could not be another thing that would make me a target. My family is Catholic, and during childhood and youth, religion was very present in my life, in my daily life. Especially in the in the early days of youth, my sexuality was covered up, rather unconscious. I've lived a heterosexual life. I had boyfriends, I had even a fiancé. I was fortunate enough to realize that relationship wouldn't work, even without clarity of the real reason. Although I had some experience in childhood and youth, it was in adulthood that I realized myself in love with another woman. I suffered quietly for a long time, until the moment I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to talk, I need some advice. Well, I did what every Catholic would do. I went to a priest. I went to the priest of my community to confess. I could not have received more attention, more care and affection. I've been heard, I've been understood. I got his support to talk to my family. I was very, very lucky. I know many of colleagues in the LGBT community who were not so lucky and who even suffered from repression from religious leaders and family. But I believe that the priest of my community act according to Christians' teachings. Love is greater than anything, and we are all children of God. Even with this receptive scenario in my family and in my private life, I still had the challenge of professional life. In this environment, I acted for a long time as the girl who didn't want to be the target. After all, in this environment, I was already a big exception, a black woman. For most of my professional life, I have created appropriate stories to tell my co-workers. I had always gone out with friends, travel with a friend, went out with someone. Unfortunately, we get used to creating these parallel realities, and this way of presenting ourselves become part of us. We think it's okay, that our private life shouldn't be a thing in corporate environment. We only realize how much effort to create these parallel realities when we drop the burden. And how heavy is that burden? Over the years, I've been strengthening myself as a professional. And despite going through several situations where the color of my skin or my gender ruled my ability or belonging, I already felt strong enough not to accept it. Here's an important thing to say, that I also had support of several people, such as the priests who raised me, who helped me to see my full potential. I realized that the support of life allies was essential, so that I could resignify all prejudice and rejection I could suffer. Our essence is strong. As a big tree, we need encouragement from the water feeding us, and light filling us with energy. I had to go through several difficult situations to realize this force within me. How nice to feel that. proud of myself. And for this to grow more and more, we need to share. We need to create a forest of pride. I came out as a lesbian in the corporate environment 4 years ago. It doesn't seem like much, but I have the feeling of a lifetime. When this happened, I was no longer afraid to be the target. I was strong inside and safe on the outside. Accenture provided me with the security I needed to do it. But this move was not immediate, not least because I felt comfortable in that lifestyle of parallel realities. And an external movement full of power was necessary to get me out of my comfort zone. I was already an executive at the time, and one day the diversity and HR team from Accenture called all executives from the project that I work for a training. It was an unconscious bias training that was finalized with the news. Our project would receive Accenture's first trans woman in Brazil. A heated debate about the situation took the room shortly after the news. I was very happy and proud that moment. Proud of the way Accenture was handling the situation. All engagement in making the process safe as possible for our colleague. My fellow executives were curious and also a little bit tense. I began instinctively to position myself, insert questions and situations in a very engaged way. This caught the attention of our HR and diversity team, who invited me a few months ago to participate in an internal diversity event. At the preparation meeting of this event, the team asked me about a little bit more the experience of our project with receiving our colleague, trans woman colleague. During the conversation, I talked about my orientation. Here, I need to confess that I have a fragmented memory of the situation, given the intensity of the moment. I just came out. By the time I realized I already spoken. I was asked if my orientation could be agenda at the event, and again, without thinking, I said yes. Let's go. Behold, the day of the event comes. Approximately 1,000 participants, some in person, most of online. My boss and some colleagues in the audience. I was questioned about the importance of a safe environment from the point of view of a lesbian woman. I noticed that some people in the audience were surprised and others just smiled, as if to say, finally. Once again, I have fragmented memories. It was a very powerful moment in my life, and coming back into it brings me a lot of joy and pride. I realized this wasn't just an important moment for me. Many Accenture colleagues wrote me feeling represented by my position. Since that day, I have also realized the importance of my engagement for an environment of respect, security, and pride at Accenture. Being involved in the company inclusions and diversity actions is a commitment to me. I learned a lot. I fought a lot. I suffered a lot, but I feel victories in my life. I'm proud of myself. And I want all my colleagues and the entire LGBT community to feel that way. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my story. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you.